Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Triangle Season 3, Episode 27, and the name of this episode is Ruse. And I must say, there was a ruse that was put on our asses because, man, we didn't see it coming, and I know I didn't. But, yeah, this was a really damn good episode, y'all. But before I get started, subscribe to brtbtv.com if you have not already done so. We have a few more episodes left for the season finale, until the season finale. So definitely you guys need to subscribe now and start watching season 3, because this season 3 is incredible. I mean, the acting, the writing, the production, everything is top of the line. And also, check out the Triangle Fan Club on Facebook, because you get everything Triangle. You get the latest information. You get topics around certain episodes. You get everything in the Triangle Fan Club. So also, go to the Triangle Fan Club on Facebook and start following this show, because this show is amazing. And let me just say, this episode really took me for a tailspin, because I did not see this shit coming at all. So the episode starts off, Neil is literally falling deeper and deeper into depression. We see that his apartment is a wreck. He hasn't washed his ass in days, and he's literally drinking Jim Beam and playing on the guitar and working on music, and he looks like he's a coked out Jimi Hendrix. Like, he looks completely gone. And then we see that Derek shows up, and Derek immediately draws attention, like, what the hell is going on in here? This place is disgusting. And, like, dang it, when was the last time you showered? And we see that Neil is all over the place, but he's so happy that Derek is there, because where we're beginning to see more and more, he does have feelings for Derek. And he's just saying, like, Derek, I'm so glad you're back. I've been working on this, and I've been working on that. And it's like, he's just so all over the place that it's crazy. And Derek is there to be like, look, you need to get yourself together. Like, this is not healthy. Like, you need to get your life together and get yourself back on track. And he's actually listening, but he's like, I need help, Derek. I really need help. And he says, okay, I'll help you, but you have to listen to what I tell you. And he mentions to him that you need to start seeing a psychiatrist. And he's like, I don't want to see no psychiatrist. I don't like telling a stranger about my problems. I don't want to do that. But I'm like, Neil, you need to see a psychiatrist more than anyone, because from when we saw from the last time you and Derek had your interaction till now, you have completely just went further and further down, even to the point that you even had one of the tricks you pretty much told one of your tricks, you had to let me call you Derek, talking about him and Troy. So, dude, if anybody need to see a psychiatrist, it's your black ass. But Derek let him know, like, look, I see a psychiatrist, and it really helped me. And it's not about you telling somebody, a stranger, your business. It's about you getting the tools to help solve your own problems. And you need to see one. And you did say that, if you wanted my help, you have to take my advice. So this is one of my advice. That's my advice. You need to start seeing a psychiatrist, and you need to get back on your medication. So we saw that's what happened with that scene. Then we get a scene with Ashton. Or so we thought. Ashton is like sitting at some restaurant, and we actually see Christian's on a call. Christian is sitting at a table, like, further down from him, and he notices Ashton, but he doesn't notice him as Ashton. He notices him as this guy that he knew 4 years ago named Ulysses. So he had pretty much approached him like, Ulysses? What are you doing here? Where have you been? And then all of a sudden he's like, my name is Ashton, so I don't know who you're talking about. You got the wrong person. He's like, Ulysses, don't play around, man. What, you trying to act all brand new or something? What's good? He's like, yo, I told you my name is Ashton. What the hell you talking about? I don't know no damn Ulysses. Go somewhere with that. And But he was persistent because, you know, Christian ends up pulling a picture of him and Ulysses together, and he actually sees, oh, this looks just like me. And he says that I met you 4 years ago in Florida. I'm a music manager, and I was there, you know, scouting some talent, and you were an art student at a university, and that's how we knew each other. So they're starting to have this back and forth conversation, and next thing you know, we see Fallon comes in, and Fallon notices Ashton and immediately starts going in, calling them like, oh my God, you trifling fucking faggot. Why is it that every time I turn around I keep seeing your motherfucking ass? And blah, blah, blah. And then like all of a sudden, Christian is like wondering like, what the hell is this Ashton person? And, you know, I'm, you know, what the hell is this going on? She's like, look, Ashton, you need to stop fucking playing and get your shit together and stop trying to fuck other men's husbands and all this other shit. So it just gets into this crazy, you know, tug of war. And then, you know, all of a sudden, like, Ashton is like, yo, won't you just leave me the hell alone? Damn, what the fuck? And and then like Christian's like, yo, what the hell is going on here? She's like, yeah, Ashton, won't you tell him the truth what's going on here? And he's like, first of all, his name is not Ashton, his name is Ulysses, and you know, I knew him 4 years ago. And he's like, oh, so you were involved with him too? Well, I'm not surprised because Ashton is a big ass hoe. This faggot done fucked everybody else's man. I wouldn't be surprised if he fucked you too. And boom, 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 boom. And then like Ashton is just like, look, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I told you before I don't remember anything, and I'm telling you I don't know who this Ulysses person is. I know I'm Ashton, and that's all I know. So Fallon writes down an address and gives it to Ashton and says, like, look, take this and, you know, go see this person. This person will tell you everything you need to know. So go to that address. And we see that he ends up leaving. Then then Fallon and Christian sit down and they talk. And she's still going off like, oh, that trifling faggot is always, you know, throwing his ass up in the air and always getting in the middle of somebody's relationship. And Christian shut that down. He's like, excuse me? You know, what did you just say? You know, meaning the word faggot. And she's like, well, I didn't mean it towards you. She's like, regardless whether you meant it towards me or not, that word is very discriminatory and rude to the LGBTQ community, and I don't appreciate you using it. So he was the first person that actually checked Fallon for saying the word faggot. So I actually have to give kudos to Christian for doing that, because he let her know, like, yo, that is very disrespectful. So regardless whether you mad or not, you have no right to talk about him like that. So he pretty much she lets Christian know about Ashton, that he slept with her husband, he knew about me, and was stealing my money, and was doing all this other shit. And then he tells her about Ulysses, and they just going back and forth, like, she's like, well, Ashton, you mean Ulysses? And it was just kind of like going back and forth, like, you know, Christian had a relationship with Ulysses, and Fallon had interactions with Ashton. And the funny thing about it, it seems like it's one and the same people. So where is this Ulysses coming from? Because all we've known is Ashton. So how is Ulysses in this picture? And it just throws Fallon completely off. And she's like, this is some weird shit. Because how is it that he was one way with us, and then for some odd reason you have this good rapport about him? Because you said that, look, he was the only person outside of Jaguar that I really loved. You know, I got very close to him, and then all of a sudden Ulysses disappeared, and I don't know where he went to, and I just saw him now after all this time. So this immediately starts ringing a bell in Fallon's ear. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna look into this and find out what's going on. Then before she actually finds that out, she has a scene with Julian. Julian just got back from New York meeting with the Hamptons, and the Hamptons are an arch rival family of the Davenports. And pretty much Fallon is like, look, I don't know what kind of game you on, Julian, but you need to slow your fucking roll, because you playing with fire that you can't match, and you're pretty much, you know, coming for Jabril, and if Jabril catches on to you, you're gonna wish that never happened, because Jabril is the type of monster that will keep coming and coming for you until he takes you down. And then Julian's still talking his shit, being reckless, telling her like, yeah, whatever, I'm all about, obviously he trusts me, to actually meet with the Hamptons. He's the one who sent me, so I don't know why you tripping, because obviously he has more faith in me than you do. And pretty much she was like, I don't know where you get this thing that you can just disrespect me, but you can't. So you will respect me, and you're going to stop this bullshit, because if things come back, and he's like, if anything, I'm trying to help your ass, because you have this sick vendetta to come after Jabril. This shit's going to backfire on you, and it's going to take you down, so you need to slow your roll. And Julian begins to still continue to talk his shit, and was like, well, I mean, it's one thing to have to deal with Jabril, but then on top of that, I have to deal with a bitch of a mother. She slapped the shit out of him, and I was like, thank you, Fallon, because he needed to be slapped. But then he came back with something even bigger. He's like, oh, is that all you got? Please, I've been hit harder than that my whole life. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about? He was saying that, look, if I spilled something, if I brought home a B on my report card, I got my ass whooped. My father loved me. My father made me a man of perfection. And she was like, fool, that wasn't love. That was abuse. You were being abused. And he's like, well, all I had was my father. And my father made sure that I was going to be the best. And I'm the man I am today because of him. And she's like, but you don't realize that you have a problem. And the fact that the reason why you are the way you are is because you didn't have a mother. You didn't have a mother there to love you. And she's trying to comfort him. And he's like pushing away like, don't touch me. Don't touch me. I don't need anybody. I don't need anything. He just runs off. And I'm like, see, that's why Julian is the way he is. Because throughout his whole life, he was taught that he had to be perfect, and if he wasn't perfect, he got his ass whooped. So that's why he's such an asshole, why he's a perfectionist, and why he's so messy. He got it from his daddy. And it actually, in a way, made me, feel sad for Julian and actually help understand him more as to why he is the way he is. And it was just like, Raven had a damaged background, and now we realize that Julian's, even though he grew up, he actually was raised by his father. His father was very abusive, and not only physically but also mentally. So both of her kids were screwed up, and it just puts Fallon in that space. Next, we actually see that she goes to see Clint, and she pretty much asks Clint, like, yo, what the hell is going on, because I ran into Ashton again today. And, me and him had our back and forth thing, and, it went left. But then all of a sudden, I saw another friend of mine, and he knows him too, but he knows him as Ulysses. And she's like, what the hell is that about? And she's like, and all of a sudden, Clint's like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, Clint, you know what the fuck's going on. If anybody knows anything, it's you. Who the hell is Ulysses? Because at the end of the day, yeah, we had a marriage. Even though we're not together anymore, there was at one point that you did love me. And there was a point where I loved you. Now, I'm going to be real. If you ever truly love me, tell me the truth. Who the hell is Ulysses? So finally, Clint opens the cat out the bag, and he lets her know that Ulysses is Ashton's brother. And he was actually, and it's true, he actually lived in Florida, and he was in I think like a bike accident, and he's been in a coma for years. And Ashton has been paying his medical bills. Now he says, now as far as Ashton is actually dead, because I drugged Ashton, and your minion Winston finished the job by burying him alive. So Ashton's dead, so what I decided to do was that I knew of Ulysses through Ashton, because Ashton used to talk about him all the time. And some of the money that I was giving him, the money I stole from you, he was using some of that money to actually pay his brother's medical bills. So once Ashton died, I thought I can try to recreate the life that I wanted with Ashton through his brother Ulysses. So all of a sudden Fallon's like, you sick motherfucker. You mean to tell me that you found his brother who's been in a coma for years and you literally tried to make his brother Ashton so you can live out your fantasy with him? Like, you sick motherfucker. I can't believe you. And then it got to the point where Fallon was like, I can't take this shit. I got to get up out of here. But he's like, oh, but I'm going to let you know something. You better not say a word of this, or your minions going down for this shit, because his DNA is all over Ashton's body. So you have a choice. Either you be quiet or say goodbye to your minion. I was like, that damn clip. Yo, Terrell Ross, that's my boy right there, man, because he knows how to deliver them lines. And when you say that, I was just cracking up like, oh my God, you sinister motherfucker, Clint. And we actually see that he ends up going off. And later on we see that Ashton actually goes to the address, and it's Derek's address. Derek is completely just shell-shocked that he's seeing who he think is Ashton. He embraces him. They go in and they talk, and he pretty much lets him know, like, look, we were very close friends. We knew everything about each other. We did everything together. And we see that they're going back and forth, and he's kind of like rekindling, his friendship with Ashton, but then Ashton is pretty much telling him that, look, I really don't remember much of anything. I only know about what Clint told me, and then I don't believe Clint's ass. And then I also met up with Winston, and I really don't believe anything Winston had to say either. And then Derek was like, yeah, you're right. He's like, yeah, you're right. You really can't take those two for any level of truth or anything. So I wouldn't listen to their asses either. So then they pretty much started talking back and forth. And the next thing you know, we get a knock on the door. It's fucking Neil. So Neil's like, yeah, I've taken. He pretty much was like, oh yes, I took your advice, Derek. I actually went to see somebody, and I'm doing pretty good now. And he was like, he really looked like he was kind of back to his normal self. He looked cleaned up. He looked, bright, and he looked like the guy that we first met when we met him in Dark Horse. That character came back, and at that moment, Derek was like, okay, that sounds great, but he's like, look, I got company right now, so I'm gonna holler at you later. And then all of a sudden, he peeps and sees that it's Ashton, and this nigga immediately goes right back into psychotic mode, thinking that, why is every time I come around, you got another nigga around, Derek? Damn. He's like, are you fucking him and all this shit? Like, first of all, nothing like that's going on, so you need to fucking leave, and I will talk to you later. It's like, I ain't going no motherfucking way, but this motherfucker can leave. And then like, Ashton's like, look, I'll get up and go. He's like, and then Derek's like, no, you're staying. Neil, get the hell out of here and stop your bullshit. And then the next thing you know, we see that Neil starts charging at Ashton's like, didn't I tell you to get the fuck out? And then Derek literally had to push fucking Neil's ass down to like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then Ashton ends up running out of there because he's like, yo, y'all motherfuckers are crazy. I ain't trying to be in the middle of no bullshit. So he ends up leaving. Then both, Derek's like, what the fuck did I tell you? I told you that Ashton was the only real friend I had besides Rob. And he's like, Rob, man, fuck that jailbird. Yo, you belong to me, Derek. You ain't like ain't no other man gonna come between me and you. You mine. You belong to me. And then like Derek's like, first of all, we are not together. And get the fuck out of my house, and don't you ever bring your ass over here until you're back on your meds. So I'm like, see, and I have to say, I was all for Derek. Yo, Emery, you did a phenomenal job in this episode, man, because, Derek, we can definitely see Derek has matured a lot, and he's pretty much was very headstrong in this episode. So he pretty much told Neil, like, get the hell out of here and don't bring your ass back over here until you get back on your medication. Next we see this motherfucker's at the bar drinking. Like, so it's like, damn, motherfucker. Here it is, you're supposed to be back on the straight and narrow, but you're still doing the same old shit. So he up there throwing back shots and shit. Next thing you know, we see that Clint is sitting a few seats down from him. He's like, damn, you really are taking him to the head, ain't you? What's going on? He's like, you mind if I join you? So next you know, he sits next to him, and then next you know, we see that Clint starts, you know, flirting with him and shit, and was like, yo, you know, if anything, we'd be better off getting out of here doing something. And then, like, Neil's like, what makes you think I want you? And he's like, look, you know, I'm the kind of a man that's not going to beat around the bush. I'm pretty much just straightforward and let you know what I want. So let me see what's up with that. You know, let's see what we can get ourselves into. You know, and he's like, okay. So he's like, let's get up out of here. Next thing you know, they go through like this walking tunnel. Actually, that's the same walking tunnel that Clint and Jabril had met during that Bullseye episode in season 2. So next thing you know, they about to, you know, make out or whatever, and was about to get it in, you know. But one thing we realized is that the both of these men, Neil and Clint, are both alpha males. So they both are dominant tops, and neither one of them wants to give up the booty. So he's trying to get Clint's ass. Clint's like, nah. And then all of a sudden he's trying to get Neil's ass. And Neil's like, hell nah, I ain't going for that. And so it pretty much is real quick. We realize we're dealing with two tops and neither one of them wants to give in. So Neil was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm out of here. So while he's about to walk away, Clint tried to get aggressive thinking he gonna take the booty. So he grabs motherfucking Neil, and then the next thing you know, they start tussling back and forth, and then we see Neil pulls out a knife and starts jabbing fucking Clint's ass. And jabbed him a good few times. And then so therefore, you know, he stabs Clint up and Neil runs away. But I have it under good authority that Clint's not dead. He's still alive. Let me stop. Something told me that Clint, it's like, damn, the same way that got him shot with Derek, he got himself stabbed by Neil. The same motherfucking way. Him trying to take some ass, got his ass killed. Like, hey, you learned your motherfucking lesson, Clint? You can't take shit that don't belong to you. If it ain't being offered to you, yeah, you in direct violation. So Clint stabbed up, but I don't think Clint's dead. So, but then we actually see a scene where Neil actually confesses what he did to Derek, because he called Derek over and let him know what happened. And the thing is, he didn't know, he got Clint's name, but Clint didn't know who he was. So all of a sudden, you know, he tells Derek that, look, I don't know what happened. It's just that he started, you know, trying to, you know, force himself on me, and I just started to stab him. And I just stabbed him, and I don't even know if the guy's alive or dead. And I just know that his name was Clint, and he was coming on to me at the bar, and we was going to have sex and all that. And I'm like, okay, here it is, you up here judging, you know, thinking that Derek is out here slinging his ass around, but really, you the one out here being a hoe and slinging your dick around and calling out escorts and shit like that. So how the hell you gonna fucking come for him and you doing the same shit? But, you know, once he found out that he stabbed Clint, that made him actually care for Neil even more. So all of a sudden he's comforting Neil. Neil's like, why the fuck am I like this? Why the fuck am I like this? And I'm like, wow, that shit was deep. And we actually see that you know, Derek really does care for Neil. And he even cares for him even more so because he stabbed Clint. And little do you know, you know, Derek was the one who shot his ass up in season 1. So we definitely got some history there. So it's like we're starting to see more and more that Derek and Neil got a lot in common. So it's kind of interesting, you know, that the two of them may be meant to be. I guess in time we'll find that out. But then the last scene, we actually see that after Ashton left Derek, he goes to see Christian, and he's asking about this Ulysses person. Because he says that I've talked to all these different people. I went to go see this guy Derek, who said he's supposed to be my best friend. And then all of a sudden some guy came in there and was trying to fight me, and I just got the hell up out of there. So won't you tell me about this Ulysses guy? And he lets him know that, look, I met you 4 years ago. I'm a music manager, and I was there finding some talent. You were an art student at a university, and you're very artistic, and you are a very cool guy, and we had like a really great connection, and we really did love each other. And then they pretty much have a conversation, and then he's like, okay, it's getting late, so won't you stay here? And then all of a sudden he's sitting down, and then we see that we see that Christian comes out, looking sexy as hell, might I add, in his black boxes or whatever, and he like throws him all the pills and stuff, and he's like, look, I'm flattered, but I'm not trying to take it there with you. I need to wait, before I go any further. And he's like, and Christian's like, I'm used to that. That's how you are. You always wanted to wait, and I'm a man that doesn't mind waiting. So he gives him the blanket and the covers, and then we see him walk back, and then we see Ashton, and then we see like Ulysses is like, I was like, all right now. I'm like, you're going to see something that's going to spark with that, but then that's going to cause some issues, I think, if Derek sees them together or if Winston sees them. So, yeah, this can definitely spin into some whole other shit. But, yeah, this shit was good. But if I missed anything, put it down in the comments because that's what I got for y'all. But, yeah, that was a really good episode because now it's a twist with who we thought was Ashton really isn't Ashton. So I want to get more to Ash to find out what's going to happen next. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back next week for the next episode of Triangle. So until then, everybody, take care.